All right. Welcome in, everybody, to our deep dive today. We're going to be exploring something kind of interesting. It's the world of short podcasts.
Ooh, short podcasts.
Yeah. So we found this channel.
Okay.
It's called Some Short Podcasts.
I like it. Straight to the point.
Yeah, right. Like they're not messing around. They want to give you engaging audio, but in those like digestible chunks. You know, we live in a busy world.
Right. Who has time anymore?
Exactly. So I'm curious, like for you as a podcast fan, do you ever find yourself gravitating towards shorter episodes? Or are you like, give me those deep dives, those long ones?
I think it really depends on the topic. You know, if it's something I'm already familiar with or I just need a quick like update or something, a short podcast is perfect. But if I'm really trying to learn something new or dive deep into a complex issue, then I actually prefer those longer episodes. I think there's a place for both. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
And this channel, Some Short Podcasts, they really emphasize tailoring the content to the listener.
Interesting.
Which is something I think is really cool. They even talk about shaping episodes based on feedback.
Oh, wow. So they're really interactive with their audience?
It seems like it.
That's pretty cool. Makes you feel like you're actually part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smart move. Think about it. There are so many podcasts out there. How do you stand out? You got to give the people what they want. But I wonder, like, how do they make sure the quality stays high? You know?
That's a good point.
When they're taking in all this feedback. It's got to be a challenge to keep it focused.
Yeah. Balancing all those different voices.
Yes.
And they keep mentioning captivating conversations and offering valuable insights.
All those are some big promises.
Right. I mean, I think we all kind of have a sense of what makes a good podcast.
Sure.
But I'm curious from your perspective, like, what are those like essential elements?
Okay, so for me...
Especially in a shorter format?
Yeah, especially when you don't have as much time to work with. I think the number one thing is chemistry between the hosts. You got to have that like back and forth banter.
Yeah, you have that rapport, right?
Exactly, like a good tennis match.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
You need that energy to keep people hooked. And of course, diverse perspectives. Can't just be two people agreeing with each other the whole time. That gets boring.
It's got to be a conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. But it can't just be all talk, no action. Meaning you got to have substance too. The topics need to be well researched and presented in a way that's clear and concise, especially in a short format you don't have time to waste.
I see. So it's about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Now they focus on this channel, also a short podcast, modern culture, lifestyle topics, that sort of thing. They also mentioned humorous takes on current events.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah, why do you think those areas in particular do so well in a shorter format?
I think it's because they're so relatable. I mean, everyone's living in the same world, dealing with the same trends.
Right.
So when you hear a podcast talking about something that's relevant to your life, it just grabs your attention. And humor, well, everyone loves a good laugh.
Right, absolutely.
It can make tough topics easier to digest. And in a short format, you can get that quick hit of humor without it taking over the whole episode.
So it's almost like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down kind of thing.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, this channel, they're really upfront about why they've chosen the short format. They say it's all about catering to those busy lifestyles. They actually call their episodes bite-sized.
Bite-sized, I like it.
Which I kind of love, you know? It's like, okay, I can squeeze this in during my commute, maybe while I'm doing the dishes. So what are your thoughts overall on this trend towards shorter content?
Well, I think it's a natural response to the world we live in. I mean, we're bombarded with information 24/7. Our attention spans are shrinking. Everyone's busy. Short podcasts just make sense. You can learn something new or just unwind for a few minutes without feeling like you have to commit to a whole hour. But the challenge is making sure that short doesn't mean shallow.
That's a good point.
You still got to have depth, you know?
Right. You got to give people something to chew on.
Exactly.
I really like their call to action. It's super simple. Plug in, tune out distractions, and enjoy.
It's inviting, right?
Yeah, it's like a little invitation to just take a moment for yourself.
Exactly.
Speaking of taking a moment for yourself, where do you typically find yourself listening to podcasts?
Honestly, I'm a walker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I love to pop my earbuds and listen while I'm out getting my steps in.
Nice.
It's a great way to clear my head and learn something new at the same time.
So it's almost like you're turning your exercise into a productive...
Exactly. Multitasking at its finest.
I love it. Well, I think this has been a really insightful look into the world of short-form podcasts. You know, thanks to this channel, Some Short Podcasts. And it's really got me thinking, like, what does the future hold for podcasting?
Ooh, that's a big question.
Right.
Right.
Like, will we see more of these hybrid formats? Maybe a mix of short and long episodes, depending on the topic.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, me too.
Mm.
But I'm curious, for you, our listeners, what would your ideal short podcast be like? What topics would you explore?
Ooh, yeah.
And what kind of format would you use to really captivate your audience?
Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely. We love hearing from you guys, so let us know your thoughts.
Until next time, see ya.